Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
World Math Day has come and gone, but after a math-ternoon of educational fun, students at Queen Elizabeth School now have a new appreciation for mathematics.
11 plus 5?
16. I'm sitting down.
16. Oh, lots of people.
These elementary students at Queen Elizabeth School saw a change to their normal routine for World Math Day. Instead of traditional classes for math-ternoon, students took part in math-themed games run by different teachers throughout the school.
What we were trying to get away from was the pen and paper today. As I said, what we were trying to do is get kids to be excited about math, because math is exciting, and to get them to say math is awesome, because math is awesome.
Students were able to choose which activities they did, focusing on different concepts.
I chose estimation and pentominoes. We were estimating how many amount of something was in a jar. And then another thing we did was we went to the music room and we were adding note symbols that were the number of notes there was and subtracting them.
Only 5 minutes left!
Yeah, boys are going to be the champion!
After this math-ternoon, many of these students have found fun in math.
I had a lot of fun doing math.
We had students who don't normally get excited about math, and even teachers who maybe math isn't their most exciting thing to teach. Both of those groups were doing math today, and we're really excited about doing it and ready for it, and really gung-ho about doing some learning today.
French exchange students are coming to Lloydminster through Yes Canada. Our Zach Kenny brings us more.
So I'm here with Ashley Rogers from Yes Canada, a transfer program that takes students into Canada. So Ashley, do you want to tell us a little bit about what Yes Canada does?
Absolutely, yeah. So Yes Canada is a high school exchange student program. So we welcome international students from 20 countries, kind of all over the world. So we welcome them here, and we also send our Canadian students that are interested in the program away to the 20 countries that we deal with as well.
And can you tell us a little bit about this transfer program specifically and why students come out here?
Absolutely. So students have to apply to be a part of the program. They also are put through, so students, for example, coming from France to Canada, they do have to have their basic knowledge kind of English, and the students that are usually the ones coming over are the ones that are super interested in learning more about the Canadian culture.
And for the students themselves, is this a curricular program, or is this something that they can just sign up for and come over?
No. So any students can join the program. Like I said, the Canadian culture is super interesting to lots of different students around the world. Lots of them, they want to come over to Canada and they want to be a part of a family and kind of learn what the Canadian, especially Lloydminster, kind of being on the border. It strikes a lot of interest in students, which I think is so great. We have such a wonderful community here in Lloyd, and we're so family oriented. So having Lloydminster families welcome these international students into their own families is it's so great.
And for the students themselves, do they get to choose where they're put, such as Lloydminster, or does Yes Canada place them in spots they think is best?
Oh, they get to choose. So they get to choose where they come. They write down, from Canada, and then they get to choose the city. So I think they're given a list of different places that they can go to. And Yes Canada has different locations that all have local coordinators. So they have that support right in the town that they're being sent to.
And do you know which cities are the most popular for transfer students?
Absolutely. I don't 100% know the most popular. I know everything with Yes Canada started out in Ontario. So I know that's super popular, and they are, like I said, slowly branching out into different communities, and Lloydminster is the newest one.
And is Yes Canada partnered up with anyone else, or is it a standalone?
So we stand alone, and we also, though, through standing alone, we do obviously bringing international students over. We have to send them to school. So for Lloydminster specifically, they are working with the Lloydminster Public School Division, and that's where the students coming from France in April will be attending school.
And students that are coming to Lloydminster, do they get a choice of schools that they're placed in? Or is it placed in there by Yes Canada?
They're high school students, so for the Lloydminster Public School Division, it'll be the Lloyd Comprehensive High School.
And is there anything else that you would like to bring up that I just haven't so far?
We're just so grateful, I guess, for the families that are willing to welcome these students. Yes, Canada is a really, really family-oriented business. It's actually managed by a husband and wife duo. They're like an absolute power couple. They're super, super great to work with. Just know for Lloydminster, like it's kind of nice. Bring in a student welcome a student into your family, and it almost like reopens your eyes to your own community because you're taking the student everywhere you go. If they see something that piques their interest and they want to go, for example, see Bud Miller Park, maybe you haven't been there in a few years and you want to go, the student wants to go there, you take them there, and yeah, you're kind of reopening your eyes, rediscovering your own community.
And is there a time frame that the students will possibly be in Canada for before they have to move back?
Also, I guess I could mention, if anyone we do have a few students still that are looking for placements. They're coming April 8th of this year, and they're going home on July 2nd. So they get to experience Canada Day with us, which I think is like super cool because Lloydminster always has really great activities going on. Yeah, so if anyone is interested in that, they can reach out to me. You have my personal email address, or my work email address. You are definitely welcome to post that on here as well.
And thank you so much for the interview, Ashley. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
Should be a great night on Monday for the Junos. Can't believe it hasn't been there since 2004, and I know someone who's excited to see host Simulu take the stage, and that's our Shelby Clark. Let's check in with her for a look at weather.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, you are very right indeed. I'm very excited for that. Won't be showing up myself. I know we could be a seat filler, but a little too late for that. I know, right? We saw the applications. We were kind of thinking about it, but I know it's a little too last minute. Don't got no outfits ready, no nothing. So, but that'd be a great time, and I'm super excited to see that Simu will be touching Edmonton grounds. That's great. Him and Pedro Pascal, I can't believe it. Beautiful, beautiful, exactly. Now looking over at your weather forecast for our first look, we are just sitting at -13 here in the border city with that wind chill feeling around -22. And, you know, throughout the week, we haven't been seeing too crazy of temperatures. You know, we've been seeing those mid-teens for those minus marks, but that wind chill outside has been pretty serious throughout the week. So that is definitely what is cooling things down. So please make sure you are layering up, wearing that nice thick jacket and everything, keeping your ears warm and whatnot, because the wind is definitely what is taking over outside. So we have cooled down. We haven't been seeing too much sun peeking behind those clouds. We've been seeing a mixture for today, a little bit more cloudier conditions, but hopefully everybody's still enjoying it. Looking at our school day forecast for tomorrow, for our Friday, for all the kiddos out there, starting off, they'll be starting off with a classic -14, so those double digits as they go through the school day. Seeing those flurries, that's going to be hitting outside around recess and lunchtime, and by the time the school day is out, it will be that single digit at -9, so hopefully that'll kind of help warm things up, and it won't be too serious of a snowfall outside once they step out of school. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots around -12 to -13 degrees, so kind of matching with us here in the border city as always that we have been seeing. Most are seeing around -11 for Bonnyville, Lac La Biche, over in Edmonton and down in Provo, so some are slightly warmer just by a couple degrees. And then we got Cold Lake there, right there in the center there with -9, the only one at that single digit mark. Going over to our Saskatchewan side now, they are definitely matching with us with those conditions on the Saskatchewan side here, with most around -10 to -12 degrees. Seems like to be the same pattern that most spots are seeing. -9 there in Meadow Lake, so seeing the single digit there for Meadow Lake compared to the rest. We got -13 there in Maidstone, matching with us here in the border city, and then over in North Battleford looking the coolest with that -14. North Battleford will be going down to low of -16, so not cooling down by too much for their temperature for their evening low, although with that wind chill it will get some stronger winds later on through the evening, so the North Battleford will probably be feeling around at -25, probably the coolest for what their temperature will be. And then for their daytime high tomorrow for their Friday, -8, so seeing that single digit, which will be nice, a little slightly warmer from what they are sitting at right now, and they will be expecting kind of a mixture of some sun and cloud. For Cold Lake tonight, they will be going out to low of -15. So seeing a nicer temperature than what they were looking at last night. With that wind chill later on through the evening, they will be feeling around -20, so slightly cooler. And then for their Friday tomorrow, -6. So seeing that single digit, although 2 to 4 centimeters of some snowfall. So be prepared for in Cold Lake. You will be getting those flurries, and make sure you got your shovels ready. And I know we will be needing them as well for our weekend. And for tonight, as we were even talking about before, we will be getting a little bit of snowfall up to 1 centimeter. So not too much for tonight with a low of -16 for here in the border city. So just be prepared. And then for our Friday, -9 and a little bit of snow at times. So that will continue throughout the day tomorrow. Won't be looking at too much sun peeking behind those clouds, and we are expecting to get another centimeter of some snowfall. But don't worry, we will be seeing that continue on through the weekend. If you thought we weren't, we will be. As we end off with a look at your 3-day forecast. You're already looking at -9 tomorrow with that 90% chance of some snow, and that will continue into our Saturday for the weekend at -7, so we will slightly warm up, expecting around 2 to 4 centimeters. So be prepared and make sure to have those shovels, and then we will be warming up once again on Sunday to end things off with -5. That's all I have for now.
Thank you so much for that, Shelby. And later today, we hear details about the Border City Collectors Show and Sale. And moving over to sports now, the Alberta Junior Hockey League season is over, and now the playoffs begin. The Lloydminster Bobcats will face a local rival. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
The Lloydminster Bobcats finished the season with 23 wins, 34 losses, 1 overtime loss, and 2 shootout losses, ending up with 49 points and 6th place in the AJHL North Division. That means they will be taking on the Bonnyville Pontiacs, the 3rd-ranked North Division team. The Bobcats are ready for a fierce matchup against their close rivals.
I mean, we're excited. I mean, we played good against Bonnyville. I think it's a little rivalry, crosstown close, so I think it's gonna be big. I mean, everyone's gonna be ready to go, and I think that's the best part. It's gonna be high intensity for sure.
Head coach Nigel Dubé is confident in his team going up against the Pontiacs, as he feels his team has improved a lot in the last month of the regular season.
Yeah, I think for us, we look back at our last month of hockey, and it was fantastic hockey, and we're just going to continue that on. So, you know, they didn't see us in the last month of hockey, and you know, I thought that was our best month that we had all season, and I really liked our group and how it's come together, and just the timing of it being with a lot of home games and whatnot. But we're excited about the group, and we're excited about you know, how we've been playing, and now it's just a matter of continuing into Friday night.
It's also an important playoff series for some members of the Bobcats, like Tyson Collier, who are finishing their junior hockey careers this year.
It's been a great experience. Junior hockey is something everyone wants to do when they're kids, so I think it's good that I got to play 4 years, so I'm very honored, and I guess this playoffs is huge. Last time I can ever say I'm playing hockey for a playoff team, and it's going to be exciting, yeah, for sure.
Game 1 will be Friday in Bonnyville at 7 p.m. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, Local News.
And of course, we wish the Bobcats the best of luck as they take on Bonnyville. It's time now, though, for us to take a look at weather. Let's check in with Shelby Clark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast. We'll be starting off with our central zone of the provinces. We are still seeing those double-digit marks in most spots, of course. You know, -14, probably the coolest condition we are looking at. -13 in Rocky Mountain House, as well as -12 up in Athabasca. Most are just sitting around -11. And then we got some of those single digits. Edson and Cold Lake at -9. And over in Jasper, back to those plus degrees with that 1 degree mark. So Jasper and Banff definitely making their way back up to the warm side. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are definitely matching with us more for those conditions. -14 for Prince Albert and North Battleford. -15 seems to be the coolest for Melfort over on this side, while it's -12 in Saskatoon and Meadow Lake seeing that single digit still. Going over to our northern zone, surprisingly, and we were kind of looking at this yesterday as well, the Saskatchewan side is looking a lot warmer compared to our central zone. -10s for La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, as well as -12 in Wollaston Lake, and the rest are just sitting around -8, -9. So looking at a lot of single digits on the board for our Saskatchewan side in our northern zone. Going over to our Alberta side, they are looking slightly warmer as well. -8s seem to be the big pattern on this side with Fort Chipewyan, Fort McMurray, and High Level. We go a bit lower to this area here, and they are looking slightly slightly cooler. They are seeing those double digits with -10 in Peace River, and the last are around -12 degrees, and that seems to be the coolest, so not looking too bad. Going over to our southern zone now, they are actually matching with us slightly more in our central area. -10 in Lethbridge, while it's -11, -13 for Calgary and Coronation. And then some are seeing those single digits with -7 in Medicine Hat. And Banff, of course, we are kind of expecting them to be slightly warmer with that -1. But now as we end off looking at our Saskatchewan side here, they are kind of seeing still the same conditions as what they were looking at yesterday and kind of seeing for the past couple days. The coolest, though, they're just seeing -12 over in Yorkton, but the rest are just sitting around -11. And then we got Regina and Estevan just at -10. But now as we look at some overnight temperatures that we are going to be expecting tonight, we are going to be seeing slightly warmer from what we have been looking at last night, I would say, with those temperatures. A low of -16 seems to be the coolest tonight, expected for Paradise Hill. A low of -15 that most spots are going to be seeing in our surrounding areas. And Provost will be expecting a low of -14 degrees tonight. So for those temperatures, we aren't going to be seeing too much more chillier than what we have been seeing last week and earlier on this week. But with that wind chill, they will probably be feeling closer to around -20 to -25. So we will still be cooling down quite a bit tonight. So please make sure don't have too much outdoor activities planned, and if you do, make sure you are layering up and driving safe and whatnot. And then we also have for Paradise Hill a high chance of those flurries later on through the evening. So Paradise Hill would be kind of expecting the same as us here in the border city. Well, they will be seeing a light snowfall later on through the night. Looking at our hourly forecast for our Friday in the border city, we will be starting off slightly cooler from what we have been seeing today with around -15, -14, those mid-teens throughout mid-afternoon and throughout the day. We will warm up to our daytime high to -9, so we will be actually hitting that single digit once again and cooling down only slightly tomorrow evening as we head into the weekend with around -10 to -11 degrees. But of course, we have expected worse, and we have been through worse in previous years when it's around this time of year. Ending off the look at our 7-day forecast, I was saying we are looking at that single digit -9 starting off tomorrow, although 90% chance of those flurries throughout the day, so be prepared. I know some days you kind of think you can put away that shovel, but with this winter season, you never know, so please make sure you got it ready to go because that will continue on our Saturday with a 90% chance once again and 2 to 4 centimeters expected. So this will probably be the most snowfall we have seen in a while on our Saturday, although we will be seeing some nice warm temperatures, especially on Sunday with -5. Aren't expecting too much snowfall on Sunday. We should get a nice break there. And as we head into next week, we will see those nice warm temperatures continue on with -6 Monday. Once again, getting some flurries next Tuesday, and then seeing some nice sunnier days next Wednesday and Thursday. That's all I have for now. Our Jace Mackey will have our news coming up for you after the break. Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Brad Baguski with the Border City Collectors. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for promoting our group and what we're doing.
Of course, no problem. I know this is going to be coming up soon, but we have the 2023 show and sale event, and I know this is going to be awesome to see because we were just kind of talking about it that, some things put it on hold and everything, and with the last one, it was really hard to be able to get that support, of course, with the pandemic and whatnot. So this is ahead now for this weekend. So what annual year would you say this is now?
This is our 29th.
29th.
Yes, we've been at it 29 years. It's been awesome. We're one of the bigger antique collectible toy shows in Western Canada. We get exhibitors from all over Western Canada that come to it and sell their wares and display and stuff, so it's awesome. It's pretty neat. Like you never know what's going to come through the door, put it that way.
Yeah. And what would you say that residents can expect for this year's event for the show and sale?
We've got some exhibitors with us that haven't been here probably for 10 plus years. We've got some exhibitors that have been just about here every year and always bring something different. Lloyd's a very lucrative market for them. We have a couple different gentlemen that do coins and currency and stuff, and they always do very well in Lloyd. So, you know, even the antique market, like the oil and gas stuff, there's a lot of people in Lloyd that collect things, so it's great. And it covers a big area. Like, we get people coming from, you know, all over Alberta and Saskatchewan to it, so.
Oh, no, that's really great to hear. Now, for people that may not be aware of the details for this year's event, can you kind of expound on like when it's going to be this weekend, what time and where?
Normally, we've done in the past, we've done a Saturday, Sunday show. Friday is set up, just open to the vendors. They set up all their stuff and get organized. And then on Saturday, we're open from 9 till 6. We're in the exhibition grounds. There's food there. They have the concession open. There's lots of room. There's piles of parking. You know, it's a great venue. Everything is right there. You get under one roof, and it's all there.
And how would you say that support has been from previous years that you've seen so far?
Oh, great. Like, we've always had, you know, 2,000 plus people through the door. Some years, you know, March can be very different weather-wise. You know, so you never know what the highways are going to be like and stuff. But normally, it's always the people from far away that are coming no matter what, because they want to buy something. And a lot of vendors make contacts with people and will meet them here to, you know, give them whatever they'd ordered. So there's always people who are coming no matter what. So it's a great time.
Are you expecting to see that strong support for this year, would you say?
I think so. The toy market, there's little toy shows all over the place. So they're going really crazy. The antique shows next weekend, Saskatoon's, Edmonton just finished not that long ago. So there's a lot of interest in antiques still. Any kind of collectibles, sports memorabilia, NASCAR. We've got gaming guys coming out that collect, you know, that do different things with gaming and sports collectibles. So there's a good selection of everything there.
And as like collectibles as a whole, what would you say to someone that's, you know, they're kind of interested in checking out the show, but they don't really know because they don't collect much? What would you say to them that can kind of like not just persuade them, but, you know, inspire them to maybe come and check it out? You never know.
The toy end of the world has a big following from the agricultural end of the countryside, and a lot of the farmers now, their kids, grandkids, are maybe collecting something that their grandma or grandpa had on the farm, so they're looking for that piece similar to what they had in actual life. Other things, you know, trains, there's people have a fascination with trains, so that's huge all the time. As far as some of the antique world for collecting, you never know what's hot, and you know, a lot of people like to decorate with antiques and furniture. For people that have something, maybe they would like to get rid of it or you know, have no connection to it, so they're saying, well, instead of keeping the clutter, let's get rid of it. We have a lot of knowledgeable people on just about any type of collectible that can give you an idea what it's worth. Chances are they might even purchase it from you, you know, stuff like that. So it's really open to anything, and these people do it all the time. They're the ones that live and breathe it. We have one of the antique malls from Edmonton. He's coming down for the first time. We have another gentleman from Bonnyville, Sugar Bell Antiques. He's coming. Very, very knowledgeable people. Like they know what things are worth. They, you know, they're not going to try and get it from you for nothing. They'll be fair, and yeah, it works out great.
No, it sounds like it's going to be a good event for this year. I think
it
a lot
is,
of people are
you
coming
bet,
out
and
to
everybody
support.
wants to get out and do something, right?
Yeah.
You know, everybody's tired of being cooped up, and spring is almost here. So why not get out and do something?
Exactly. Is there any more you want to add on the event that I may have missed out on?
We always donate a part of our proceeds back to the community. You know, it's $5 to get in, and 12 and under are free. There's a family rate, you know, so it's affordable. You got lots of parking. You got food. Like I said, there's always stuff to see, and every year something new. And we'll try the one-day thing, you know, and see how it goes. We're talking about possibly doing a Friday night, Saturday for the people that are stuck working during the day and want to come out. So we're entertaining that for next year, and I think it'll be great. I mean, hopefully everybody decides to come out, and there's lots of room to park, so you don't have to worry about that or anything. So it should be good.
Perfect. I think that you just summed it up there. Perfect
Yeah.
way to support the community, have a good time, and I think it sounds like it's going to be great. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
March is Fraud Awareness Month, and we are speaking with two ladies from Synergy Credit Union, Amira and Kimberly. This time we're going to be talking about scams. And I'd like to know, first of all, what are we talking about when we say scams?
Yeah, so when we talk about scams, we are referring to a variety of tactics that are used to deceive someone into willingly providing their personal information or money. So if you've heard the term phishing, that actually refers to these sorts of scams.
So, what is the difference between fraud and scams?
The key difference between fraud and scam is the victim is willing or knowingly participating in the action. For example, if a victim has their checkbook stolen and a fraudulent check written out, this is fraud. The victim didn't willingly or knowingly participate in it. However, say you get a phone call from someone posing as your nephew, saying he's in trouble with the law and needs you to e-transfer him funds for bail. He will likely make the situation seem urgent, telling you he only has an hour to post the bail, so you need to send the funds now and to not call the parents to avoid disciplinary action. In this case, the victim willingly sends the funds, therefore this is a scam and not to be considered fraud.
So, where do these scams take place?
Yeah, so the most common sources of these scams are emails, could be text messages, phone calls. Sometimes it can also be physical mail. It actually takes an average of 82 seconds for someone to fall for it when a new type of scam is being launched.
Well, and Kimberly, let's talk a little bit about what type of scams there are.
There's a wide variety of scams out there. The winning scams, where you are told that you've won some money that you didn't apply for. The seller scam, where you are tricked into paying a small amount of money for something normally expensive, but the seller never ships you the purchase. There's the romance scam, where someone develops a relationship with an online person who tricks them into buying them gifts, travel, or giving them cash. There's also threat scams, where the scammer impersonates your bank, the government, the police, or the CRA and demands money or personal information under the threat of a huge fine, arrest, or other consequences.
Well, let's talk about these and how they work. And Amira, can you maybe give me some examples and some scenarios?
Yeah, sure thing. Here's actually one I just recently dealt with. So, a text message came to my phone from an unknown number saying my package was being held until I paid a fee. The only thing was I wasn't really expecting for a package. So, if I had clicked that link in the text message, it would then ask me to provide my personal information. And so from there, I would then become like a victim of this scam, right? So, a few important details for me to look at was like, it didn't really specify any details, but instead it created like a sense of urgency that, it looks legitimate and really like wanting me to do something about it. There were also some spelling or grammatical errors, which really, you would notice it if you're proofreading your messages or emails. So these types of scams try to look legitimate and they hit you in text messages, calls, or email to caught you off guard. And so what I have found is that these types of scams are particularly popular also at busy times, such as Christmas holidays, where the scammers know people are ordering higher than normal amounts online, especially online, and people may be more vulnerable.
So, how do you spot scams and how do you protect yourself from them?
The best advice that we can give is to slow things down and really think about what's happening. Many scammers prey on the fact that you'll just trust that they say who they are and they believe that, and that if you start asking questions, they will give up. If they claim to be from your bank, the post office, the government, or the police, you can always hang up the call and call back on the publicly listed phone number. If it's an email, be careful about the links, as clicking on them can compromise your device. Double click the address, and if the address doesn't look legit or it doesn't make sense, then suspect that it could be a fraudulent email.
If you happen to have been a victim of a scam, and obviously we don't wish this on anybody, but unfortunately, as we've been discussing, it does happen, what should you do?
Don't wait. Get in touch with your financial institute and let them know. They may be able to issue a cancellation or a chargeback before it's too late, and they have the resources to help you through the immediate issues, and they work to plan to help you to recover.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for taking the time to speak with me again. This is great information. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ending off with another quick look at your 7-day forecast. Be prepared for some flurries coming ahead for tomorrow and Saturday, around 2 to 4 centimeters. So have those shovels ready. We will be looking at those single digits after into next week. So seeing -5, -6 Sunday and Monday. Looking at a little bit more flurries next Tuesday. And then we are expecting to see some nice conditions for next Wednesday and Thursday with -4 and even -1.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Shelby. I'm not looking forward to that snow, but at least the temperatures aren't as bad as well. I guess they could be. That's our show on this Thursday night. Thank you all so much for joining us, and one more day left this week. We'll see you here again tomorrow.